All right, today we're diving into the CrowdStrike 2025 Global Threat Report, and we're going to pull out the absolute must-know takeaways. We're getting a look at what the next year in cybersecurity is going to look like, and it all kicks off with this really fundamental shift in who the adversary even is anymore.
The report opens with this, and it's such a perfect and honestly kind of chilling analogy. In the digital world, just like in the wild, underestimating who you're up against isn't just a mistake, it's game over. And believe me, the predators have evolved. So the big theme this year, the idea that runs through this whole report, is how cybercriminals themselves have changed. We're not just talking about lone wolves in dark rooms anymore. Oh no, they've become something much more organized and, frankly, a whole lot more dangerous. And this is the core concept right here, the enterprising adversary. You gotta forget the old stereotype of the lone hacker. What we're dealing with now are these sophisticated groups that run like actual businesses. They have business plans, they have R&D departments, and they have a ruthless, relentless focus on profit. Let me put it this way. Cybercrime isn't just a crime anymore, it's an entire industry. So how does this new corporate-style adversary actually get the job done? Well, they've figured out the single biggest vulnerability in any organization's defense. And spoiler alert, it is not your software. It's us. It's people. That's right. Get this. The report found that a whopping 79% of all the intrusions they detected were malware-free. So instead of trying to brute force a firewall, attackers are just tricking people into holding the door open for them. And this whole shift has led to an explosion in one specific tactic. Look at that number, 442%. That's the spike in voice phishing, or vishing attacks, in just the last 6 months of 2024. Adversaries are literally just picking up the phone, pretending to be from IT support, and just talking their way right into secure networks. It's incredible. But okay, getting in is just the first step. The part that's truly terrifying is the speed. How fast they move the second they're inside. And this speed, it completely changes the game for anyone trying to defend a network. In 2024, the average breakout time, and that's the time it takes an attacker to jump from that first computer to other parts of your network, it dropped to just 48 minutes. That's down from over an hour just the year before. The window you have to even notice something's wrong, let alone respond, is just slamming shut. And if you think 48 minutes is fast, the fastest breakout time CrowdStrike saw was 51 seconds. Less than a minute from the initial breach to them spreading all over the place. At that kind of speed, how is a human-led defense even supposed to work? It's almost impossible. Okay, let's make this feel a little more real. The report breaks down this case with an e-crime group they call Curly Spider. They made contact, they socially engineered an employee to get remote access, and they set up a permanent backdoor into the system. All of it in under 4 minutes. The whole attack was done before you could even make a cup of coffee. So, you've got to be asking, how is this incredible speed even possible? Well, it's being supercharged by a tool that, we're all talking about. And of course, the adversaries were very early and very enthusiastic adopters. Generative AI is the ultimate force multiplier for these guys. It lets them just shred the learning curve for new attack methods. It helps them automate writing malicious code. And it just dramatically ramps up the sheer scale and speed of their operations. And it really works in 2 key ways for them. On the social engineering side, it makes their attacks so much more believable. We're talking flawless phishing emails, or even deep fake voice clones that sound exactly like a real person. Then, on the technical side, it's helping them write malware and automate tasks, which just makes their whole operation brutally efficient. And you have to understand, these attacks are not just isolated incidents. The report really paints this picture of a global, interconnected, ecosystem of threat actors, each one with their own specialties and their own targets. Security companies like CrowdStrike actually track all these different groups with specific names. You've got the bears from Russia, the pandas from China, the spiders for e-crime groups. The point is, this isn't random chaos. It's a structured international web of adversaries who know exactly what they're doing. And while this threat is definitely global, the report calls out one thing in particular: a huge strategic surge in activity from one specific nation-state. An escalation that really did completely reshape the threat landscape last year. So, the data is pretty clear. Activity linked to China Nexus adversaries, the so-called pandas, It jumped by 150% across the board. But if you look at key industries like manufacturing or finance, the increase was just staggering. Attacks more than doubled, or in some cases even tripled compared to the year before.
So you're up against these adversaries who are faster than ever, smarter than ever, and are operating like global corporations. The old ways of defending yourself, they're just not going to cut it. How can anyone possibly keep up with this?
Well, the report's conclusion is that survival really demands a totally new mindset. It's about locking down every single identity, getting rid of blind spots with modern tools like XDR, that's extended detection and response, and most importantly, taking a proactive approach. You have to start hunting for threats before they hit you. And here's the bottom line. Defense is no longer about building bigger, static walls. It's now a dynamic race against the clock. And winning means having real-time intelligence and actively hunting for threats. Because you have to stop an attack that unfolds not in days or hours, but in minutes, and sometimes in seconds.
Which really leaves us with the one question that's going to define everything in the year ahead. We know for a fact that this enterprising adversary is only going to get faster and smarter. The real question is, can our defenses evolve quickly enough to actually win the race?